Hello, darling, beautiful homemakers. Before we delve back into Chapter 4 of Charlene Johnson's book, Beautiful Homemaking, which will be all about weight in the wrong places, exercise, I want to tell you about some of my research and why today, unlike what Charlene suggests in the last video, willpower alone is no longer enough to lose weight. Let me tell you just a few things I learned from chapters 1 and 2 of Mark Schatzker's book, The Dorito Effect. He said that in 1960, at a sold-out Yankees stadium game, only 600 people in that crowd would have been considered extremely overweight or obese. But in 2015, that number would have been 4,500 people. 1960, it was 600 people. In 1960, 2/3 of all people were slender. And in 2015, 2/3 of all people were overweight or obese. Something is very wrong with what we are eating and calling food. Now, the word morbidity means a diseased state, and morbid obesity means you are likely to die from overeating. After smoking, obesity is the leading cause of preventable death, and it will very soon surpass the deaths caused from smoking. It has already surpassed the deaths caused from poverty and alcohol. So I'll say it again. Something is very wrong with our food. Something that wasn't there in the 1950s when Charlene was writing this book that was published in 1961. Is it simply too much sugar and fats in our foods? Or maybe it's our oils. Maybe it's our chemical flavors. Think about how many flavors of Doritos there are. There's taco-flavored Doritos, barbecue-flavored, corn, nacho cheese, and my favorite, Cool Ranch. What do we think of when we have these flavors? Taco-flavored Doritos. There isn't a taco in that chip. What's the flavor mimicking? Hot sauce? Barbecue Doritos. There's no meat in that chip. Of course, it's mimicking barbecue sauce flavoring. Nacho cheese Doritos. There's no cheese in that chip. Cool Ranch. There's no salad or salad dressing in that chip, but the flavor explodes on our taste buds, making us crave more and more. Eating just one is not enough. Corn Doritos. Yes, Doritos are made from ground corn, but they need to add salt and oils to make this corn taste good. Did you know that when the first Taco Dorito came out in the 1960s, that there were only 11 ingredients in it? Today, some of the newest flavors have 34 ingredients. These foods make us physiologically crave them. But are they really food? Or is a chemical fooling us? We eat more and more, but we get no satiety. Instead, all we get is empty calories. Our taste buds tell us that we've had some barbecue, some corn, some cheese, a taco, or a salad. But we haven't had any of those things. We are trading the nutrition and savory depth of real foods for the tang of chemical flavorings which fool our tongue, but not our body. Every single time we decide to eat a non-homemade chip or cookie or other junk food, we are trading a real meal meant to fuel our bodies for high calories devoid of nutrition. All because we're too tired and too overwhelmed to cook a nutritious meal. We buy all kinds of high-priced items, cereals, Pop-Tarts, soda, ice cream, cookies, crackers, frozen meals, and even high-priced fast food meals. But then we look at organic vegetables and fruits and cringe at the prices, saying, oh, those are much too high. That's ridiculous. We can't pay that. We go to the farmer's market and don't want to pay $10 a carton for the most nutritious thing you can eat, eggs. We think nothing of buying $10 worth of ice cream, but $10 for a carton of eggs? No way. But what's more important? Something that really feeds your body for that $10? Something that makes you feel full and yet helps keep you thin at the same time? Or ice cream? And those prices are high compared to what they should be. But it is more important to spend money on quality foods than on junk foods. I know that eat more vegetables sounds yucky. I've never been much of a fan of vegetables. But knowing what asparagus does for my body makes me want to eat it. I learned how to properly cook it. And when I put Redmond's real salt on it, it actually makes it tasty. Skinny stalks of asparagus help me get skinny. Asparagus is wonderful for our bodies. Before 1967, natural, God-made foods tasted delicious, as God intended them to taste, sweet, sour, tart, or savory. But with ramped up food production, our soil became depleted of minerals, our food became nutritionally weaker, and tasted more bland. In the 1950s, kale had twice the riboflavin, cauliflower had twice the thiamine, asparagus had 3 times the vitamin C, green onions had a lot more calcium. Today, vitamin A in our foods is down 20%, and the vitamin C in our foods is down 15%. Our broccoli, wheat, and corn has been bred, just like our chickens, to grow faster and bigger, and that has diluted the nutrients they contain. And just as an aside, if you learn how to use einkorn wheat, E-I-N-K-O-R-N, wheat, in soups or in bread, that wheat is an ancient wheat. That wheat is unchanged from the time of Jesus. It's something he would have eaten. But after 1967, blueberries, broccoli, lettuce, fennel, potatoes, carrots, corn, and even chicken breasts began losing much of their original delicious flavor. In fact, every year since the 40s, chicken breasts have been bred bigger and fatter, losing their original delicious flavor. So our scientists discovered how to isolate chemicals that we experience as flavor and began adding these to our foods as flavorings. And one of the first was MSG. So today, we don't enjoy eating fruits and vegetables as much as Charlene's generation did because our food is just much more bland. When I'm able to get eggs and fruit and vegetables from a farmer's market, it usually tastes amazing. But sometimes it's just average. In fact, if I didn't get that random reinforcement of deliciousness, I probably wouldn't take the time to go to a farmer's market. But it truly is better the majority of the time. Even the celery, it's delicious. The eggs, they are expensive. But I know what those chickens are being fed and how they're treated. And I know that the public is welcome to come visit that farm to make sure that the farmer is being truthful with what he is promoting. And I've developed a personal relationship with him. When I was growing up, we had good water. It was delicious and refreshing, and we laughed at the people who were buying the new designer bottled water. But then one day our water changed. I remember my parents got a notice in the mail about the water, and slowly the water stopped tasting delicious. It became bland. It sometimes even had a bad smell. And one day we began having to buy bottled water. Some people, they just can't stand drinking plain water. They need to have fizzy water or flavored water, put lemons in their water, or they just drink tea instead. Can you eat carrot sticks without dipping it into ranch dressing? Can you eat a salad with only oil and vinegar without your favorite store-bought dressing? Can you eat celery without slathering peanut butter on it? A plain tortilla chip with real salt but without a dip? Can you eat yogurt without adding a fruit flavoring? Can you eat tomatoes instead of salsa? Can you eat your strawberries without sugar, whipped cream, or chocolate? Can you eat chicken that isn't deep fried? When I buy my foods at the farmer's market, I'm much more likely to not need all those added flavorings that is in the dips, dressings, oils, sugars, etc. When I buy my foods at the farmer's market, I'm more likely to eat as God intended me to eat. Today I had a plum that I bought yesterday at the grocery store. It cost a lot, and it was so tasteless that I threw it away. If you're able to find a farmer's market that you enjoy going to, one that has great parking and is easy to get to, put a reminder on your phone and make a commitment to go there. I get in and out within 10 minutes. Some stalls only take cash, some take credit. But I go to my bank once a month and get cash to cover each of the weeks. I put it in an envelope and it's used only for that purpose, to buy healthy food at a farmer's market. And get to know the farmers while you're there and ask them, why should I buy your eggs instead of eggs at the grocery store? You'll be amazed at what they tell you. Now we know that strawberries aren't really in our ice cream or soda, that it is chemicals that trick our taste buds into thinking there are real strawberries infused into the food. But did you know that even when you buy something that does have a real strawberry in it, such as yogurt, that they still have to add the flavor of strawberries in to the product for your tongue to taste it? We obviously know the difference between a taco and a taco-flavored chip, but our flavor sensing system is being fooled, and it is being trained to crave the chemically flavored chip over the bland, nutritious, homemade taco that doesn't have these particular flavor seasonings. It's also how restaurants get you to come back to them. It's why you can't replicate it at home. They are all using chemically flavored sauces, and most are not good for you. We are being bombarded with fake flavors in our store-bought foods, and the majority of these foods are devoid of real nutrients. And these fake flavors can be addictive. We can't seem to stop the cravings for them. 7 years ago, we bought a brand new mint and chip ice cream sandwich, and it was so delicious. We couldn't stop eating them. My son and I, we once ate the entire box of 12 ice cream sandwiches in one sitting. After the 5th one, I started to feel sick, but I still wanted more. And later, I realized that it must have had an additive to make us keep craving it. It is almost impossible to stop at one. And that is the Dorito Effect. Our real food is getting blander, or it just tastes blander to us because we are so used to the flavor technology that gives us intense flavors that taste better than real food. In fact, in many processed foods, you are eating chemicals and preservatives that you would never consider putting into your body without those added synthetic flavorings. The flavors are tricking you into eating unhealthy food. Separate the food from the flavoring, and you will realize your addiction. Which is why I want to encourage you to find a farmer's market. Put it on your calendar. I have a weekly reminder to visit the farmer's market every Saturday morning at 8:30. At the very, very, very least, shop organic at a grocery store. And then find old cookbooks that show you how to make real foods and flavor them yourself. Now, the wonderful tool that I wanted to bring your attention to that I hinted at in my last video is an ingredient scanner from Dr. Livingood. And yes, that is his real last name. His app, called Livingood Daily, is free and it's very easy to use. After you download it, go into your kitchen pantry and begin scanning the barcodes or the ingredients on your cans and other packages on all your store-bought foods, and you will be amazed at what you discover. I know that there are other apps out there, and I've tried them, but I personally like this one the best because his scanner focuses on ingredient quality. And when it scans, it will say challenge approved, lifestyle approved, or avoid. If you scan a healthy food, such as Simple Truth Organic canned low-sodium pinto beans, it will analyze the ingredients and say, challenge approved in green letters. No bad ingredients detected. This would be a perfect food to eat to help you lose weight. If you scan something and it finds an ingredient that is safe to eat, but won't help you lose weight, such as organic cane sugar, then the findings will show up in yellow and say, lifestyle approved. And it will flag all the ingredients that are safe but not great for losing weight. Sometimes you can also click on that ingredient and it'll tell you more about the ingredient. Then you can decide for yourself if you want to eat that product or not. Other times you're going to scan something and it will say avoid in red letters. It will list the ingredients that you should avoid at all costs. The ingredients that make you fat, such as high fructose corn syrup or maltodextrin. For instance, I scanned 2 leading brand ketchup bottles and they were both to be avoided. But Trader Joe's organic ketchup is approved. Since I have implemented this, I now feel skinny. I no longer have that heavy, bloated feeling every day, and my energy level has skyrocketed. The scanner is very easy to use as long as you have a good internet connection in the store. Scan everything in your own pantry first and make notes on paper in 2 columns, avoid and safe to buy again, and that'll cut down on your scanning time at the grocery store. We had to scan quite a few jars of pickles at the store before we found a jar of refrigerated pickles that was safe to eat. And yes, it was more expensive, but our health is worth it. You're either going to pay in healthy food or you will pay at the doctor's office. It's your choice. Years ago, I remember a friend telling me that when I was married, I wouldn't be able to buy butter and organic foods and that I'd have to buy margarine and canned foods. And I told her that I would never buy a fake food such as margarine and that I would do my best to buy healthy foods. But I still did get blind to many of the preservatives that are in grocery store foods. And I have had to learn how to crawl out of that trap. For many years, I felt that we couldn't afford to buy organic. But about 5 years ago, we made the conscious decision to just do it, no matter the price, as it tasted better and was better for us. And we made up the difference by refusing to buy crackers, Pop-Tarts, sodas, things that I used to buy weekly. Here's just a few changes that I have made. I only use pink Himalayan salt or Redmond's real salt. We switched to Primal Kitchen's avocado oil mayonnaise instead of the mayo that uses soybean oil. Soybean oil has turned out to be really bad for our bodies. In fact, we have eliminated all soy from our diets. Instead of eating processed foods, we are eating more eggs, meat, raw cheese, organic non-salted butter from grass-fed cows because butter is a good fat, grass-fed whole milk, fruits and vegetables such as avocados, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, kale, blueberries, limes, lemons, grapefruit, Granny Smith apples, and raw nuts. Our only oils are now avocado oil and extra virgin cold-pressed olive oil or coconut oil that is also virgin, organic, and unrefined. We will often use that in place of butter. It's supposed to be very good for our brains and help prevent dementia. Here are a few more facts that I learned about why it was easier to lose weight in the 1960s versus today. In the 1960s, a Coca-Cola at McDonald's was only 7 ounces. Today, a medium Coke is 21 ounces and a large Coke is 30 ounces. So if you're still addicted to soda, just buy the smallest serving sizes available and keep weaning yourself off of it. You know, when my son was little, I was still addicted to soda, the sugar in the soda. But I would buy the 7.5 ounce cans, and then I had 2 jelly jar glasses that I would pour one 7.5 ounce can into both glasses, giving us each almost 4 ounces. These smaller glasses made it look like we had a full glass of soda, and it was enough to satisfy that sweet tooth. His friends would come over. I would bake each one of them a mini Trader Joe's pizza, and each one would get 3 ounces of soda in a small juice glass. And one of his new friends drank his immediately and then asked for more. And each of the boys at the table shook their heads no at him and said, "Sorry, she doesn't give refills. You have to drink it more slowly." So next time he knew to eat his food and then drink his non-caffeinated root beer. Children can be weaned off soda more easily this way. In the 1960s, a burger was only 1.6 ounces, and today it's 4 ounces. Dinner plates were 9-inch circles, and today they're 12 inches. Measure the well of your dinner plate. How big is it? I did this, and my new plates were the 12, and my old inherited china plates, they were the 9 inches. So those are the plates I usually use. Do you need to find a smaller plate to eat on? In restaurants and at home, we are dishing up 40% more food onto our plates than they did in the 1960s. For the past 60 years, the admonition to finish your plate has had terrible consequences. Also in the 1960s, people had 3 meals, not 6 mini meals. Desserts were served, but they had more wholesome ingredients. A cake or cookies baked from scratch are simply more nutritious than those baked from a mix because there's no preservatives. And they are much more nutritious than those that are pre-made for you, store-bought cookies and cakes. In the 1960s, there were no snack or individual sizes. These types of snack foods typically have those preservatives and flavorings and fat-making fillers in them. They probably shouldn't even be eaten. If you're craving sugar, try raisins or grapes instead. In the 1960s, people didn't eat out of boredom. They didn't eat mindlessly while scrolling or watching TV. They ate in their dining rooms at meal times with other people. Today, we're in the habit of eating every 2 to 3 hours. Me too. I am still conditioned to do that. Instead, though, I'm trying to drink water, and I realize that those food cravings will dissipate after 15 minutes. Autophagy is what keeps our waistlines small. And that is when we give our bodies a rest between meals, allowing our bodies to burn off the calories as fuel. Autophagy works best the longer you go between meals. At night, you need to go for a minimum of 12 hours without food. 14 hours is better. 16 hours is best. In the 1960s, refrigerators were stocked with whole milk, eggs, butter, cheese, vegetables, fruit, leftovers, and soda was a treat. There might be one bottle of Coca-Cola in it, and it was shared. That Coca-Cola would have had pure cane sugar, which at least satisfies the body and doesn't trick it. Today, it has high fructose corn syrup in it. It makes us crave more. There's no satiety with high fructose corn syrup. In the 1960s, going to McDonald's was a rare treat. In fact, one of my favorite memories from the 1970s was when I was homesick from school. My mom had to take my brother on a field trip to the fire station, and I was kind of jealous, so my dad stayed home with me. Around noon, he came into my room and inquired, "Do you feel well enough to go to McDonald's?" Did I? You bet I did. I was instantly better. What a treat McDonald's was back then. Afterwards, he took me driving up to the highest hill to see the view of the valley, and then we went home. In the 1960s, people didn't graze their meals. It would be cooked and eaten at meal times. And they weren't surrounded by fake foods with added colors, dyes, chemical flavorings, and other poisons that have entered our fake food supply. Today, we eat 4 times as much sugar each year. The average person eats 152 pounds of sugar, when in 1960 it was less than 40 pounds. In the 1960s, people were not eating high fructose corn syrup, as I said, and they were not eating rancid seed oils such as soybean oil, cottonseed, corn oil, canola oil. Do you know what canola oil stands for? It's oil from Canada. There's no canola plant. Safflower and sunflower oils, they're not good for us either. All these oils are causing our bodies metabolic stress. Women used to use butter or lard to cook. Then lard and butter were demonized. They told us to replace it with shortening, which turned out to be full of trans fats, which harms our bodies and makes us fat and sick. In fact, Crisco even paid cookbook companies to take lard out of their recipes and replace it with the word Crisco. In the 1960s, frozen TV dinners were not tasty. They existed, but they were expensive and bland. They were skimpy on portion sizes, especially meat, and they were rarely eaten in most households. In fact, a woman who served TV dinners was looked upon as a bad homemaker. Another thing that was very different in the 1960s is that people didn't need to go to a gym to lose weight because they exercised effortlessly in their daily lives. They walked more often and walked farther than we typically do today. Supermarkets were growing in popularity, but many people still walk to a corner market. Men, even if they drove to work or took a train to work into a city, they still had to walk to their building or to and from their lunch destination. Men still cut the grass with a push mower that required lots of muscle. They raked leaves. They didn't blow them around with a loud, annoying leaf blower. Men shoveled snow, and both women and men worked in their gardens. Women were still mopping floors, pushing heavy vacuum cleaners on carpet. They would sweep kitchen floors and porches with brooms. Some of them still carried heavy baskets of wet clothes to a clothesline. And many homes still only had one car, so the at-home wives only got the car 1 day a week. If they wanted to go somewhere, they walked. Today, we must consciously get our exercise by going for walks or going to a gym. I love my rebounder. My small trampoline uses bungee cords. If you're thinking of getting one, don't make the mistake I did. I originally bought one with steel springs, and that hurt my back so badly I had to throw it away. Get the one with bungee cords. I am only up to 85 jumps that I do right before bed, but that has helped me keep from having restless legs, and it expends the rest of my energy at night, helping me go to sleep. I simply strive to get 1% better every day. So now let's read in Charlene Johnson's book, Beautiful Homemaking, We're in the middle of chapter 4. Weight in the wrong places. Exercise. No matter what your category is, exercise is a must for that tingling feeling of good health and for that lovely and well-proportioned figure. 5 to 10 minutes of regular exercise every day are far more beneficial than an hour of exercise once a week. And you may not think that 10 minutes a day will do much, but it's been proven otherwise. You can start with 2 minutes a day after you eat your dinner at night, even walking inside your house in circles in your front room. Your muscles will immediately start using the sugar that you just ate with your dinner for fuel so that it won't get stored as fat. Walking after dinner, what used to be called taking a constitutional, it significantly reduces blood sugar spikes. And if you walk 10 to 15 minutes, it has an even bigger impact. You need to walk briskly, but still be able to talk. When you walk right after your meals, your immune cells start circulating. And these are natural killer cells for invaders like cancer cells. You don't need to walk more than 30 minutes. That's very encouraging to me because 30 minutes is about all that I can handle. I want to get home and get on to other things. The most important thing is to be consistent. And of course, you know that walking, especially walking outside, sets your circadian rhythm. Walking before breakfast. If you get out in the sunshine first thing, that is so good for your entire body. And you don't wear sunglasses. You got to get the sunlight into your eyes. You can't wear regular glasses either because glass blocks the spectrum of light that we want in our eyes. Walking improves your sleep. It will shrink your visceral fat around your organs even within 12 weeks. It improves your cardiovascular system, which means your heart gets stronger. Walking even helps improve your memory. Walking grows our brains. Now, some people think that if they walk too often, they'll wear out their joints, but that's not true. Walking actually strengthens your bones. If you're over the age of 60, walking reduces your fall risk. And as you know, once you fall and hurt a hip, a lot of times that's the end of mobility for people. So we want to keep strengthening our body no matter what age we are. When you are on a consistent walk schedule, you age more slowly at a cellular level. Now, some of these tips I learned from Dr. Livingood. I've been reading a lot on his channel and watching a lot of his videos, and this was just from some of my notes. Others have talked about interval walking, where you have short bursts, where for a minute you walk really fast, and then you recover for a minute, and then you do it again as often as you can. And that helps burn fat and helps increase your oxygen. And then you work your way up to 2 minutes and then 3 minutes, and you can stop at that point. I think after 3 minutes, you don't see the same value as you do at increasing your speed for 1, 2, or 3 minutes. Walking uphill is always beneficial. And as you know, green spaces, nature always calms us, reducing our cortisol levels, which helps us get better sleep as well. Some even talk about wearing weights, a weighted vest, which helps strengthen your bones and helps your core become strong and gives you better posture. I think I'll be trying that in the future. So here Charlene was writing about this in the early 1960s, about 5 to 10 minutes of regular exercise every day are far more beneficial than an hour of exercise once a week. She says, in my book Altogether Lovely, I have listed and explained exercises for all parts of the body. Again, we need self-discipline. I know that your mornings are rushed and you are tired in the evenings, but do set a definite time every day for your exercising, Perhaps the best time will be during the children's nap time. Take time every day for physical exercises. But keep in mind how much more important it is that you take time for spiritual exercise every day. Bible reading and prayer are a spiritual exercise. Without this daily spiritual exercise, we can never remain spiritually healthy. We starve without the Word of God. Punctuate your day with prayer. Spurgeon once said, "You need a daily supply. Day by day you must seek help from above. It is a very sweet assurance that a daily portion is provided for you." Hebrews 4:12 tells us the Word of God is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword. Hopefully next time we will cover pregnancy weight, complexion care, and makeup. I hope you have a good day. Bye!